James Gunn's new Superman movie is a fantastic, fun ride. It almost made me feel like I was watching a live action version of Superman the Animated Series or Justice League Unlimited. Creatively and tonally, it's very different. However, it just gave me that same feeling seeing these characters on the screen. David Cornsweet nailed the role of Superman. He really portrays the big blue Boy Scout with all of his hopefulness and optimism in a really charming way. Rachel Brosnahan was also great as Lois Lane. She was like the other side to Superman to keep him kind of balanced out. She's more pessimistic and, critical. And just their chemistry was just so much fun to see, especially in this movie. They're in a relationship and they're having relationship problems. And it was just fun to see how that panned out. Nicholas Hoult gave us the best portrayal of Lex Luthor we have seen in live action. At least the best that I've seen. I haven't seen Smallville. I've heard that that's a pretty decent show. But out of the live action movies that I've seen, Nicholas Hoult takes the cake. He portrays Lex Luthor in this way where he's entertaining, but you kind of like don't like him. Like you almost hate him. Hate's a very strong word, but it's like he is written and just acted out so well to the point where you just don't like anything that he stands for and you just want to see him get taken out in the end. And so he keeps the plot moving. He is a very integral piece to the plot and he's fantastic. The performance was exactly what Lex Luthor is supposed to be. The writing is exactly what Lex Luthor stands for. Everything down to his character motivations, to his brain, to his ego. It was perfect. And if you've watched any other negative criticisms on this version of Lex Luthor, say from Ben Shapiro saying, oh, his motivations are actually kind of boring. Ben Shapiro has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to characters like these, because despite the fact that he pretends that he knows, if he's saying that this version of Lex Luthor is boring or too simplistic, he clearly doesn't know who Lex Luthor is. This is literally the quintessential Lex Luthor motivation. That is really all Lex Luthor stands for in essence when Superman came on the scene. And when you watch the movie, I'm trying to keep it somewhat vague so I don't spoil it, but you should understand when you see the movie. Now, in terms of the technical aspects, the production design, special effects, and cinematography, James Gunn does a really good job. Some of the scenes, some of the actions and CGI was a little bit cluttered, but compared to the stuff that was really excellent, it's very minimal. And even the stuff that was cluttered didn't exactly look bad or cheap. It just looked cluttered, like there was so much going on. But there was also a lot of really well stylized scenes, both intimate scenes, calm like dialogue scenes, or action scenes. It was just a really pretty movie, well well put together visually. The Justice Gang as characters were kind of interesting. They were fun. They had good personalities. They brought this life, this comedic tone to the movie when it needs it, and also a few like good action scenes in there. Mister Terrific plays an important role in the plot. As characters themselves, they don't have a whole lot of depth, but I feel like as a group, they served the plot and the themes very well. I'm definitely interested to see what more they can do with these characters, but there's really not much to say about them in this movie. They just work well as a team, but as individuals, they're not as interesting. But we're going to see more of them in the Peacemaker show, and I'm sure they're going to be in future projects, so maybe we'll get more depth to these characters. Beyond that, this movie has a lot of good jokes. It's a fun movie. It's hilarious. James Gunn really knows how to bring that into a movie, but also it has those good personal heartfelt moments which James Gunn is also good at balancing out. Some people think that oh he just makes these goofy dumb movies without any substance. I highly disagree, especially with the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. The Suicide Squad was actually very thematically deep, and I think this Superman movie is as well, even if it might not be to the same level as his previous film. But it definitely did have those nice character moments, heartfelt moments with Superman as a character and Lois Lane. And even it gave Lex Luthor some time to breathe. So those were the main highlights with the characters. And yes, they didn't get drowned out by the jokes or the plot and everything else going on with the action. It still let the characters have some time to breathe. Now, on the plot level, it's maybe a little bit convoluted, but more so I'd say just unconventional the way it's structured, but it was extremely creative. And the movie does a good job of setting up things early on that get paid off throughout the movie. On a story note, it felt like it was a cohesive story, and that's because it was. Sure, it didn't have the traditional plot structure, but it just works and it's entertaining. Am I going to say that there was nothing negative about this movie? It's not a perfect movie by any means. There was one story beat that pertains to Superman's biological parents that I kind of was a little frustrated with, but it was written well. So if I didn't know anything about the characters or the comics or the other movies that I've seen, it maybe wouldn't have bothered me as much, but the way it was written in, it was something fresh, which is something I felt like this movie really needed to be, and it was. And it made sense. And there's still, I feel like there's debate as to if it's going to stay the way it is right now, or if we're going to find out more details in the future. But I can't go into it without spoiling anything. But that was one complaint that I kind of had, but even that didn't make this movie unenjoyable. It didn't ruin the movie for me. As of right now, I give Superman 2025 an 88% in quality and 90% in enjoyment for an overall score of 89%. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to help you be on the lookout for more videos from Luke Film Boss. Bye.